Welcome back to Close Encounters of the Tech Kind. I'm John, coming to you with a fair number of years of experience doing tech. I've been doing it since I got out of high school. So it's kept me in the game for a while. Got a little bit of history, got a little bit of knowledge. With me today, I've got Mike.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
He's also been in the game since high school, right?
During high school.
During high school?
During high school. I've been programming since, seriously, since junior high, probably.
Nice. And we got Jackson, who's, I don't want to say fresh out of high school, but close enough. Closer than we are.
Fresh is insulting.
Hey, you called us old last time.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm actually in my junior year.
No, that's not fair. What are you talking about? That's fair.
I'm in my junior year of my computer engineering degree at Brigham Young University. So been a lot of fun coming to you through with some new sound today. Got a nice little microphone.
Enhanced.
So be good.
So those viewers that are tuned in, we hit 100 subscribers, and I followed through on my promise. We got new microphones for everybody.
Everybody?
That's well, everybody on camera. How about that? Artie, you're stuck with the microphone, but you had a good microphone to begin with, so. Anyways, Artie is kind of running the show behind the scenes, keeping the wings on the plane.
The silence was palpable.
Yeah, takes a lot of duct tape. But I'm probably going to have to downgrade to masking tape if I still have to use this microphone.
Oh.
Wow. Challenge accepted.
Did you work for Boeing?
I want to see that masking tape microphone next time.
Oh, Boeing can't afford masking tape.
Right. Well, let's guys, I want to talk to you about a few things. We did a little conversation before the show, but Windows 11, you ready? Because ready or not, Microsoft's killing it.
No,
killing
I'm not
10.
ready.
They're killing 10. They should kill 11 too, but hey. And then, one of the best incentives for us is we talked last time about Windows Update is killing solid state drives, and Microsoft has responded, no, it's not. It turns out some YouTubers can reproduce it on screen live. They've recorded the evidence of it, and Microsoft is still doubling down that no, it's not a problem. We're going to talk web browsers and our ever popular subject that we just can't get away from, AI. But good news, the internet is now 51% AI slop, AI bots, and run by machines behind the scenes doing things that it's not humans anymore. So talk a little history on that. And then YouTube. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the views on all the big channels have changed. We'll get into that. But before we start, let's just start. How about that? We don't have any intro music. That's for the next plateau of subscribers. We'll get some music going. Windows 11. Are you ready for it?
No, I'm not.
Are you using it, Mike?
Only when I have to. Only on computers that it comes pre-installed, and I have to help users troubleshoot through that. But I don't know. I'm just, as much as, there's a lot of features that are still the same. There are some features that are different. The user interface, you can configure the user interface to be as close to Windows 10 as you can, but I don't know. It's just, and to be honest, when Windows 7 was the thing and Windows 10 was thrust upon us, and while I didn't like that aspect of it, of machines, you leave it on Friday and it's Windows 7, and you come in Monday and all of a sudden it's, hey, Windows 10. Like, wait a minute, I didn't ask for this. As much as I
But
didn't like that, once I got into Windows 10 and started using the operating system, I was like, wow, it's like I felt like, man, they finally got it right, at least in a lot of things that I was frustrated about. And so I've really come to really like actually using Windows 10. It feels very comfortable to me, and I'm right at home, and now I'm sad to see it go. So there you go.
you know what I would love to see? You know how you sit down at a computer and you want your context menus to work a certain way, you want your start menu a
Mhm.
certain way? I would love for Microsoft, who's now forcing us to have Microsoft identities when we sign into computers. How about it remembers that from machine to machine? So I don't have to keep setting up my profile to look and feel and theme and, you know, Windows shape and zoom sizes and all that stuff.
I mean,
Kind
why
of like
not?
how browsers.
They're already capturing everything else about you. Why not? Right?
Yeah, I mean, just you get a new cell phone. It says, "Hey, you were on another phone. Would you like to import that information or start fresh?" Windows should do
That's
that too. Just like
that's the
I
thing. They
want,
don't want to give you things that are actually functional for you. They only want the things that are functional for them.
well, that's how
Brings
you,
back the Clippy conversation.
which did take off quite heavily. That was a great.
Still going.
It's still moving. Yeah.
Well, my thing that I've had to do, and I do hate that they force you to create an account with Microsoft in order to even use the operating system. What I've told other people to do and what I've had to do many times is you install Windows 10, because in Windows 10 they still try to get you to do it. They're like, "Hey, you need to sign up," and you have to install it without the internet plugged in. If you plug in the internet during the installation, it will not let you create a user account without going through Microsoft. So I always tell the people this: if you want to have a Windows 11 account without a Microsoft account, you have to install Windows 10. Don't plug in the internet, and then select all the options like, "Oh, I don't have internet," or "Oh, I don't have access to the Microsoft account," or whatever. And then it'll finally let you make a local account. And then you do the upgrade to Windows 11. And sometimes I think it lets you keep it. I don't know if they've patched that workaround by now, but it's just ridiculous that they force you into these stupid things that you have to do in order to just use the dang thing.
Well, Apple, not that I'm trying to defend the Microsoft move there. Apple has been forcing us into Apple accounts for better part of 15 years now.
Well, that's Apple.
At the same
You know what
time,
you know what you're buying when you get that. If you're buying an Apple device, like, you have to have an account. Like, that's their business model. So I mean,
at the
it's
same
just
time,
irritating that Windows is going in that same direction, right? Because they're removing kind of the option that you used to have as a user. Like, oh, do you want to get into a company environment like Apple, and you have your MacBook and your iPhone and your Apple TV and all this stuff, or do you want just an operating system, which is Windows or Linux or whatever?
Oh, it's going to be Linux. The whole world is switching to Linux right now because when Windows 10 support is dying. Oh, and to help sweeten the pot on the transition, Microsoft has said free upgrades from 10 to 11 are going to disappear.
Oh, wow.
So you got a short period of time to run it. Anybody that needs help, give us a call. Happy to consult with you and see if your machine is capable of Windows 11. But that's my frustration on things. Is not all computers are Windows 11 capable because that lovely TPM module. If it's not 2.0 compliant, you don't get Windows 11.
Not
not only
even that
that,
anymore.
the the RAM
Go ahead,
the
RB.
RAM requirements for 11 are like double what 10 was. And
But it's not. They say it's that, but there's been people that have, shall we say, creatively crafted Windows 11's experience,
yes,
aka removed the
It's
remote
for all the
access control.
AI, I bet. I
but
bet it's for all the AI.
most users aren't going to know how to do that or have the patience to sit down and watch a YouTube video that won't load because Windows is eating up all their memory and they can't watch videos. So
No, it will install and run pretty good on a very small amount of RAM.
The worst thing though is not even that, like, RAM requirements. Okay, sure, there's like, well, even then you've said, right, it can run on smaller amounts of RAM. I mean, processors, they have a list of processors that are allowed to run Windows 11. I have a server machine that's on an i5 something. It's an older generation of an i5, which could easily run Windows 11, like, no problem. It runs Windows 10, and I've got tons of stuff going on it, and it goes just fine. But then, you try and do an upgrade to Windows 11 for, well, I want security updates if I've got a server running or whatever, and it's just I don't know. Everyone in the comments is going to be like, "Oh, we should be using Windows Server." Yes, I know, but it's a small home server. Give me a little grace. I'm just playing around. Long story short, it doesn't let you go to Windows 11 because of it deems your processor unworthy, right? And so it's just another one of those things that's ridiculous. There's no need for that.
Well, and it's one of those, we're forced into the TPM 2.0 environment. That's the only reason we're doing this.
Yeah.
Which is very curious. What does TPM 2 bring to the table for us as a benefit? Don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. But Windows 10, it's viable. Who's heard of what Linux alternatives are taking the most foothold right now?
Mint.
Mint?
Let's say Mint and Ubuntu.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the two
No, I mean, like,
that I see.
Do we have like numbers to back that up, Artie?
I've only got hearsay.
Well, could you use the power of Google? Oh wait, AI is going to skew that one.
Google has not given me appropriate responses in years, so I use other search engines.
Well, then scour the internet however you do, flight director. Please tell us what's the good alternatives out here, because I'm curious. Debian, it's all right. Ubuntu, it's all right.
I'll say, with all of the hate that we've all thrown at Windows 11, I do use Windows 11 on a personal machine, and I mean, I actually haven't run into that many issues. Like, it doesn't seem that different to Windows 10 to me for my uses, which I think I use my computer a lot more than, in a lot of creative ways, I should say, than your average person, and I haven't really seen much of an issue with it. But I know that you guys who are digging even deeper than I do on a regular basis run into some of these issues. For me, though, I feel like I can't, complain too much. I feel like the UI is marginally better in some places. Like, at least the whole like control center in the bottom, I think, is a little bit better to get. It's easier access to like your Bluetooth controls and Wi-Fi. Sort of. I also kind of hate it at the same time. So I don't know. I feel like it didn't feel like it was worthy of a new number per se. Windows 10 to 11. It just felt like they were prettifying Windows and then screwing some other stuff up. So I don't know.
Yeah, like I say, give me the visual controls so I could set like light mode, dark mode, and all those things, and just let it follow my account. I would happily sign up for a Microsoft account. Well, less grudgingly sign up with a Microsoft account if I had a control panel of like 200 options to set to my preferences, and it follows me, because then all my systems are the same.
What I will say about that, though, is, excuse me, when you mentioned control panel, I feel like Windows just keeps adding layers to their settings, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, you can get like Windows 10, they kind of introduced, like in Windows 7, I don't think there was any like settings. It was just control panel, right? If I remember right. It was just control panel. Windows 10 comes along and there's like Windows 10 settings. And you're like, okay, you can now access like your Wi-Fi settings there or some other basic stuff. Anything that would actually like be useful to you is still in control panel. So then you have to open up control panel, which is visually and obviously an older UI for changing settings. And then sometimes in control panel, you have to go deeper into like device properties, and then you're in device manager, then you're into like I feel like they keep adding these layers instead of just sweeping everything up into one and updating it really because it feels outdated. But at the same time, I don't want them to do that because when they do that, I know they're going to remove a lot of the options that I need and want.
It's not that they remove it. You think of it this way: the version number is the number of layers of the onion you have to peel back to get to the control panel you started with.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you want to do. Yeah. So I feel like Windows 11 was just another. They added some things to settings, and they like abstracted some more of it, but there's still that Windows 10 layer you get through to get to the Windows 7 to the control panel, where you do most things, and then even then you can go even deeper into.
I've got
Some
a
other
hot take
tools
for you
that
guys.
just are so outdated.
I would rather be using Windows 8 than Windows 11.
All right, no, I
Ooh.
completely disagree with that.
I'd rather
you
be
can
using
disagree.
an Etch-a-Sketch than 8.
Yeah, that's
The
how
thing
much I
about-
dislike 11.
The thing
What is
about
your biggest
8,
beef with 11?
What was that?
What's
Go
your
for it.
biggest beef with 11, Artie?
Lack of customizability. I mean, yeah, you can change the backgrounds, but you know, I've tried to. You cannot change the start menu. You cannot change. You can't get rid of the. I'm not going to curse. You can't get rid of the rounded corners on the windows. I mean, aesthetically, that it's just horrible, but it also doesn't function with certain neurodivergent things. It hurts my head. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. The neurodivergent thing, one size fits all does not fit neurodivergence. I'll give you that.
You know who started rounded corners, right?
Who?
Steve
That was
Jobs.
that was an Apple thing.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember that when I
What was it,
got my first
System 9?
laptop.
OS 9?
Or 8.
Yeah, it was 8.
I
Yeah.
think it was an 8. Yeah, because I remember I got my first iMac, and we were still on 8. It was like we were at 8.6 or whatever it was at the time. The highest that 8 ever got. But I just remember that I was looking at the CRT, because the first iMacs, you remember there were CRT screens and everything. And it's a perfectly rectangular screen. And I watch it boot, and there's initially the gray pattern that's there, and I can see the square corners on the screen. And then all of a sudden, the very first thing that happens is the corners go around. Like there's just like little black patches that round off the corners. And it's just like there's like
Those
probably
pixels will never
Yeah,
display
there's
anything
like-
in their entire lives.
like
Except the
64
mouse cursor.
pixels right there. They're never ever going to be used, just because of the corners being rounded.
I want those 12 pixels back.
Yeah.
I want my money back. If you're gonna round my corners on my OS, round my screen.
I'm going to round the corners of my dollar bill I send to pay this off.
Okay, so you had asked for the information on Linux.
Yeah, what's the adoption?
Global desktop operating system market share, and I checked this like about 6 months ago, and the stats were a little different, but Windows makes up about 74%, Mac OS makes up a little bit over 15%, Chrome a little bit over 2%, Linux a little bit over 2%, and other makes up just under 7%. So, with that in mind, Linux, when I checked it a few months back, it was about 1.5%. So it has increased a bit. As for the types, Ubuntu is the most commonly used one at 1/3 of the market share, followed by Debian with half of that, and then CentOS, which I have never heard of.
That is weird that that's in third place.
Got almost 10%. Red Hat is at 1%, and then
That's more of an embedded OS, isn't it, Mike?
No, it's let me just make sure that I get my.
Like, I know you can use it as your daily driver, but that's more of a anyway.
And then unknown is almost 40%.
Those.
Unknown.
So that's like people that have made their own
offshoots. CentOS is a descendant of Red Hat. I think that's why. It's part of all the Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and I remember reading about this. Is big in the news a couple years ago because you've got Red Hat, you've got Fedora, and you've got CentOS, and it's gone through some changes because of the way they've changed the licensing and the community edition, basically, of the operating system and how it's developed and all that. And
that makes sense, because
yeah,
IBM is they're not capitalizing on this market the way they should. Like, Red Hat should be the de facto replacement for this, but maybe we got the OS2 Warp team on the marketing for this one.
Well, Red Hat and Fedora combined only have 1% of the total market share for Linux. So it's a very small, even within the community. But I also think that might also be because Red Hat decided to go to a closed source market, and a lot of people didn't like that. So that might be why CentOS has gone up, is because it's the closest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a good fork off of a good thing.
I know there's a lot of, and just kind of reading up a little bit, I know that there's been a lot of discussion because the developments of CentOS tend to go upstream into what ultimately goes into Red Hat too. And I remember a couple years ago it was a big mess, and I was reading up on it because at the time when I was still in school, online for my degree, that the couple classes I was doing, we were using Fedora. And I had never really used Fedora. I've always used the Debian derivatives. So like Debian, Ubuntu, Mint, so on and so forth. I never gotten into Fedora to use that. And I was like wondering, how viable is this? Like, should I really give this a try and check it out? And so I started reading up on it, and that's how I learned about all this stuff that was going on, like right at the time of the changes in how the operating systems related to each other. So kind of fascinating, but it is fascinating that CentOS shows up on that list as gaining traction a little bit. My picks would have been Ubuntu and Mint. And I know Mint has been really popular for trying to be as close to a Windows experience and Windows compatibility as you can get. I mean, I know that
maybe that's the problem.
Maybe that's the problem. But I remember some of the times I've installed it, it is really good to just have an operating system that you want to use right out of the box. At my old job, we had older laptops, and I needed to hand them out to guys, and all they needed to do was just get on the internet, do some email, attach a document, download pictures from their camera, something, just those really basic things, right? And Mint was a great go-to because once they got into it, it felt somewhat familiar to them. They kind of could already navigate it. Everything, you plugged it in and it just worked for the most part. I never had to do really weird driver installs or anything like that. So yeah, Mint was a great option just for that reason, because it just right off the bat seemed to have a good experience as far as compatibility went. So I'm surprised it's not bigger, but
yeah. And as you're saying that, I would say Ubuntu is probably, the complement to that on as far as Mac goes, right?
Yeah.
Like Ubuntu feels a lot more like Mac. It operates a lot more like a Mac does.
And Ubuntu
and Debian.
I've used Ubuntu since version 8, which is a long time ago. And if you know the version numbering, their version numbers are based on the year release. So version 8 was in 2008. And they were still, I think at that time, they were still a relatively young project. It'd only been around for a handful of years at that point. So I've seen the interface go through a lot of different changes, and they have gone through some changes about what what's their desktop environment are they going to use? They made different adjustments and changes, and now you can do it with like lots of different desktop environments to whatever suits your fancy and everything. Ubuntu's really done a good job of marketing and really pushing themselves. I think that's why they're in the lead on that Linux share, is because they've done a really good job about pushing and marketing and getting out there and solving problems. When they see something not working, they try to make something so that it works. And they're a Debian derivative. A lot of the back-end stuff in the kernel is come from Debian. So
Debian is the original Linux, is it not?
One of.
I'd like to know where these names come from,
Oh, there's so many. And there's so many flavors
Debian
of
was
Linux.
named after the first two people that created it. Deb and Ian.
There you
go. But with the market share, it's possible that they are listing a lot of the forks under Debian or in Ubuntu for those that are not like explicitly their own operating system.
Xubuntu, Lubuntu, Edge Ubuntu. That's just Ubuntu different variants, and everything. So yeah, it's hard to narrow down to say like, well, what are you actually using? Well, I use a flavor of Debian. So does that mean I use Debian, or am I using something else? I don't know.
Well, so on that one, guys, when you pick your variant of Linux, you're picking the developers that you like most. And at most, you're going to have like 10 or 12. You'll have contributors, you'll have some people jump in, but the people that run the project are there. Here's an interesting one for you guys. There's a government package that was on the approved list that is supported and maintained by one Russian national in Russia for everybody.
Oops.
I got to look that up now. I'm calling it out. But this package is on the approved list from the U.S. government. And I don't think anybody really vetted this correctly because it's a guy in his garage in Russia.
I mean, what's the meme that's out there? You've got this gigantic stack of blocks and this one little tiny peg holding it up, and it says, one person in Iowa that knows all of this stuff. If you remove that peg, the entire thing crumbles.
Yeah.
I believe that was an XKCD.
XKCD. Yeah, it's XKCD that drew that comic. I remember that one.
The package is called EasyJSON. JSON. Yeah. Basically, this package is included in lots of things, but who's to say that one guy isn't corruptible by somebody else who might be, a neighbor? So, I mean, that's one of the things that I think has kept Microsoft in the driver's seat is it's an American-based company, and basically computers and the internet, that's really an American invention, and we're at the forefront of all of it.
Well, and it gets into the discussion about the pros and cons of open source versus closed source too. And like who do you allow to contribute to your project?
Well, Microsoft releasing that SSD drive killing update recently, and then denying that it's actually killing hard drives. That's hilarious. Unless you're hit by it.
That's not funny.
Not just SSDs.
Then it's not.
It's affecting some hard disk drives as well.
Now that's only a Windows 11 update or thing, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's only happening on Windows 11.
Yeah.
Is it all kinds of storage like flash drives and stuff like that? Because I mean, I've got a pretty sizable flash drive that I could easily transfer, tens of gigabytes from to and from.
Well, and just running a Windows backup, to copying files from one drive to another, or having a backup automation in the background, that'll kill it.
So what
Microsoft
is
isn't fixing it because they can't reproduce the issue.
what incites the issue, and what is the exact issue? Because I remember we talked about it, kind of forgot exactly what it was.
Wasn't it large file transfers in
Initially,
excess
that's what they
of-
thought it was.
Yeah.
Jay's 2 cents did a video demonstrating it. I don't rightly recall off the top of my head what he was doing to... No, I do. He was running a game, and he was waiting for it to hit a certain point, and then it slowly shut down. Like, all the information was in the memory, not on the hard drive anymore. And it gradually just machine shut down and then rebooted into the BIOS.
Oblivion.
So wait, so
Microsoft
all he
is
was doing was just
stable.
doing an install and it failed?
Yeah. He was testing
Basically.
with the game to
He was
demonstrate
trying to
it.
produce the problem.
Right. But what were the exact things that he was kind of poking and prodding? Other than just hitting install, or was that it?
That's
It
it.
was, from my understanding, it was a fresh Windows 11 after the update. And he started running the drive with just playing some of the different games to test the system for the GPU capabilities.
Mhm.
And it crashed out, went back to BIOS, and the drive was not listed there.
But
Wow.
wiped out the boot sector and everything.
So, looking at Bleeping Computer, 5 days ago, Microsoft has found no link between the update and, just for your edification, it's KB 5063878. There'll be a test later, Mike. Pay attention to this.
3878 506. Got it.
That's pretty good. A customer reports a failure drive corruption affecting solid state drives. They've found no link between the update and the failing hard drives. In subsequent service alerts seen by Bleeping Computer, Redmond said that it was unable to reproduce the issue on up-to-date systems and began collecting user reports with additional details from those affected. So it's not case closed. They're just saying, not from what I can see.
Which is what Faison said too.
There's a phrase I heard early in my career as I was going to different schools. Contractors, they were working on like finishing the drywall or installing, trusses or whatever. And there would be an issue. And one of them jokingly said to the other guy, "I can't see it from my house." It's like, okay. So I guess Microsoft's adopting that mentality with this one. Can't see it from my house.
I mean, it's clearly
Okay.
happening, but it's going to take somebody is going to have to dive in and watch the operating system code execute step by step to say, okay, look, this value went into a register. It got sent to the hard drive controller, and this is what got written. And does it match? If it doesn't match, then that's where they can find the smoking gun. But I mean, that's going to take a lot of work to really trace it out and figure out where this problem is.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's great that this is happening right before you must
Mandatory
upgrade
11.
to Windows 11 from Windows 10.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst thing about it is that it has expanded out beyond the Faison-controlled drives. So they're seeing it on Samsung drives, they're seeing it on Micron drives, they're seeing it just all over the place right now.
Well, then I'll use Windows 10 unsupported then. I feel safer doing that.
There's third-party alternatives now. You can still get updates for Windows 7. I'm not calling out that company because I haven't researched it or done any of that, any of my due diligence. But supposedly, they write patches that are just as good, if not better, than the ones Microsoft releases, because they fix the issue in different ways.
Do they have a patch for 506.3878?
They do not have patches for current generation systems because that counts as
yes, that would be against the rules. I get that.
Mike, you passed the test.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, let's I don't want to take too much of this, but AI. I hate to jump back to AI because we can't get away from it. No matter how hard we try, we can't get away from it. Guess what? Newest version of browsers are going to have AI navigation built in. And nobody knows exactly what that means. We don't know where it's going to go. But the address bar is going to turn into a prompt.
Oh.
Yeah.
AI is just going to, I don't know. I'm going to sit down my computer and be like, I don't know where I want to go. You tell me where I want to go today.
Right? It's like the I'm feeling lucky button from years ago on Google.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Except now it's just computer's going to know what you've been up to, what you've been thinking, because, it reads your mind now and take you there.
You type in the address and you hit enter and it's like you want to go to Facebook. You type it in and a prompt just comes up and says, are you really sure you want to go there today? It's not, I mean, you've been feeling depressed. Are you sure you want to go there today?
Yep.
Like, yeah, I'm going there to watch cat videos, cheer myself up. God.
It's Facebook, so they're AI cat videos now.
This sounds like maybe it's a way that they're going to get their money back. Know what I mean?
Oh,
There's
they're
like a
So-
justification
they're
for
so
all the money
trying.
that they spent.
No, not even
They're
that.
so trying to find ways.
Because we talked about this, I think, even last week. Advertising is dying because everyone's going to AI for Google search. So if they feel like they replace that need in the search bar, they can still show their ads. They're
And
trying
that's-
to pull people back into it.
And that's the conversation I wanted to have with both of you, Mike and Jackson, is the internet that we've got is dead.
Yeah, it's
like,
kind of true. Like,
It's dying
far as
on its
surfing
feet
it?
right now. So we grew
There's a-
up with the internet of the 80s and 90s, which was real blocky, like Web 1.0 is how we joke about it.
Mm-hmm.
Then it evolved, it got better, got enhanced, and got more content. Now it's multimedia enabled, and it was cool. And then
Search
Facebook
engine.
and social media came along and ruined it all, because instead of going to, my 100 favorite websites, I go to one website that has a newsfeed. So now we only have about 4 or 5 websites we go to, like Reddit, Facebook, YouTube, you can name them. Everywhere else is just like a pit stop before you get back into your main system, right?
Yeah, feels like it.
I kind of wonder, is it just because there's so much hype about AI that AI is like a buzzword now and everybody just has to jump on the AI bandwagon somehow? Like, I am not going to be able to sell my thing unless I can show or mention that it's AI enabled somehow. Here's my
what it feels
coffee
like.
pot with AI brewing technology or something like that. Like, AI has to be in there in your marketing plan somehow, some way, or you're not going to survive.
The coasters on my coffee table are AI powered now.
Must be.
See, for me,
Designed with
anything that has AI in it, that's an immediate turnoff for just like wanting to purchase it or engage with it. It's just like smart features. AI is the new smart feature. Because
Yeah.
smart
What
features.
happened to crypto? What happened to
Crypto's
crypto? That
something
was the
else.
buzzword like a year ago.
Yeah.
What's the
NFTs.
next buzzword? NFTs. Yeah, that would be a.
But with the smart features, it's like AI is they're marketing AI as basically a smart feature that's actually smart when it's not. It's basically just the same thing with a different label on it.
Just because it can conjugate an English sentence.
You know, I heard YouTube channel Some Ordinary Gamers. He described it, and we're gonna have to bleep this word out, guys, because I'm sure algorithm doesn't like us as much as it likes that channel. So Artie, in the post, please edit this out. He said AI large language models are autocomplete on crack.
That should be good.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, like, it's going to finish the sentence, but it's not just a sentence. It's gonna just keep auto-completing out paragraphs, and it's mostly good.
Yeah.
But it's not intelligence.
For those who have taken
It doesn't even mimic.
Yeah, I mean, if you know how they actually work in the background, like that is what they're doing. They're just auto completing based on likelihood of good answers. You know,
It is the modern version of the million monkeys at a million typewriters.
Really is. I wonder if it could generate Shakespeare now.
I mean, yeah, to me, the word simulation comes to mind. That it's really just an elaborate simulation of what we think is intelligence.
So here's a fun one. You know how it can't figure out hands and fingers? It's having a hard time with that. You know why, right?
No, why?
So it knows pictures of hands. It doesn't know kinesiology, the way your hand moves. It doesn't understand that fingers bend one way only.
The way it's connected, yeah.
So because it doesn't understand the relevance, it will generate things. Fun fact, you can buy online little, like, fingers that have a ring attachment, so you can slide a finger on. There's people that are committing crimes with an extra finger, hoping people will think it's an AI-generated video.
Oh, wow.
That
I
is
mean,
awesome.
I've seen that circulating as a meme, but I'm not sure if anybody's actually tried it.
I saw one video once.
Don't try this at home, folks.
No.
Well, maybe do try, and I want to see the headlines afterwards.
No, don't try it.
Don't try it. Never mind.
My favorite is trying to get AI to generate an image of a watch that says any other time than like 10 something. Because somebody told me to try this. I was like, what do you mean? And I tried it and I was like, oh wow, it is literally incapable of doing it. Of a watch with hands, you know. And the reason is because if you go online and look at any pictures of a watch, they all say the same time because it's the most aesthetically pleasing way to set up a watch.
Big hand on the 2, little hand on the 10.
Yeah, here's the thing. In some of my recent Chat GPT interactions, I told it that I wanted a timestamp on every response it gave me, right? So I could look, like if I was on a particular thread, I could look back through and see, okay, when did we discuss this? Oh, it was on such and such date at such and such time. And it took the instruction, says, okay, yes, I will configure myself to include a timestamp at the end of every response. It gets the date right. The date is correct. The time, I will ask it something, it responds, it puts a time, let's say it puts, I don't know, 11:30 in the morning. 5 seconds later, I will ask a follow-up question. It'll give me another response, and now it's 4 in the afternoon. And then it'll go back to 2:30 in the afternoon, and then it'll be 9:30 in the morning. And it cannot get the time.
I might have an explanation for that, Mike.
Why is that?
It's possible that the server that it's querying is in that time zone that it's reporting from.
I told it to be in Mountain Time Zone And I also told it, like, and here's the thing, the variations in the time, I would expect that if it was only hours off, I could see that, like it's a time zone difference. But we're not talking just hours, it's minutes too. So like it's 9:15 versus 11:43, things like that.
Autocomplete is really on crack.
It's just, it's just like...
It's like asking a toddler what time it is.
Yeah. It's not, it's a simulated, it's a large language model. It's not actually an intelligence that's processing my request to say, oh, I need to put in a code here so that I fetch whatever the current time is, adjusted for Mountain Daylight Time, and then put it at the end of my response.
It's just a mimic of intelligence.
It's just a mimic of intelligence. It's a simulation.
So what that means now is that is what you're using to interface with the rest of the internet. And they're forcing you into it. If web browsers are going that way, is now you have to query an LLM to get to some site you want. It's taking away the whole thinking process, right? Because I mean, when I was in high school, there were some classes that were actually, okay, this is how you do research now. And when you start with, like, they would literally have like class periods that were dedicated to how to do a Google search, right? You put this in the search engine, you get these results, you read this, and you realize, okay, now I need to change my search query with these certain keywords so I can get to where I want to go. Like it's a more conscious effort of, this is what I want to see from the internet, right? And Google used to be designed to serve that to you. This completely removes that. It is no longer, this is what I want. It's like, I think I know what I want, something in this area, and it goes, okay, here you go. This is exactly what you want.
Mike, you remember the day when you could search and find what you asked for?
Yeah, and then it became a search, and I
fun?
could find way more than what I asked for. And then now it's, I might find the thing I need.
What I miss
Because I'm not
is being
getting
able
anything
to
I asked for.
like enter in the website that I want to search on, and have the thing give you results based upon the website that you pointed to. Now you type that in, and that website is just like not even listed in the top 10.
I miss Alta Vista.
Mm-hmm.
True search engine of the day.
Even old Yahoo.
You could type in like a reverse link search before Google had that figured out. Just like how many sites link back to whysupport.com, and it would go through and tell you all the sites and link you to those.
How about just give us Boolean options again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed
for this exact phrase.
Yeah, it just takes, it seems to only take like the first couple of words you put into it and then just use that.
Yeah. Well, there's a study that just got released. It's 51% of the internet traffic is created by AI bots. Doing searches, doing queries, scraping websites, entering data in websites. More than half the internet is now run by automation. How many data centers we're building? How many gigawatts of power being used by these data centers? We could turn off half of it.
The power we can generate more of, it's the water to cool it. We can't really pull that out of the ocean easily to cool data centers, because desalinization is a thing, and you don't want salt water on components, even if they're just, like heat sinks. It degrades it. I've done my own little research into this, and it's just completely demoralizing just how much resource goes in a single data center.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
so there's I want to keep this conversation moving forwards. I don't want to stay in the AI realm because YouTube has changed, right? And I kind of blame AI a little bit. But there's a news article, I forgot to tell you about this in the pre-show. You remember the Google is a monopoly ruling?
Mm-hmm.
The judgment just landed.
Oh, what was it?
You remember how they were asking for Chrome to be divested and you
Right.
can't have Android anymore and all those things?
They basically
Nope.
gave them an option, right? It was either you can't force Chrome on. Oh shoot, I forgot now. It was, but it was they. The initial thing was we'll give you an option. It was either you sell Android or Chrome. They were going to do something with Chrome. I don't remember.
So basically, the judge was actually very fair on this. Because if you sell Chrome, that actually impacts third-party companies that have no interest in this. If you sell off YouTube, that has an impact on things that just it's not fair. So the ruling in simple terms is Google gets to share the search results with its rivals.
How do you mean?
It can't hold the data hostage. So I'm going to jump over to...
So if I'm hearing this correctly, it means that Google has to make their data regarding the contents of the internet open source.
Yes.
That could be interesting.
So I'm looking for a non-paywalled site that will give us actual things.
Say, wasn't
American
there a
Prospect.
service that used like multiple search engines?
Yes. So the remedy, Google cannot make exclusive deals with distributors or tie use of or revenue from products or placement of other products. It will have to share some search index, some user interaction data, and some search text data with its competitors, allowing them to improve and compete. But it is such a weak punishment for Google. The stock jumped 8%. Everybody's seeing Google is just walking away from this monopoly ruling without really being corrected.
Right.
I mean, did we expect anything different?
No, not really.
I kind of did.
I hope.
I mean, look what happened to Microsoft years back with their antitrust.
If we continue on that subject, we'll get into politics.
I'm
Right?
wondering if it's because that some of these companies just get so that the world becomes so dependent on their services and the way that they are connected to the world that to change that would be a detriment to society, the
See, and
technology society in some way or something like that.
in my opinion, when any company becomes that integral, they should be turned over into a public utility. Because if society cannot exist
Yes.
without them,
It's probably one of those things where it's like something should happen, but something should have happened maybe a considerable time before this, like before it got to
Definitely.
this point, kind of thing, you know.
And it's going to be an interesting time to see where this unfolds, because this is just a slap on the wrist, saying you have to share your information with others.
Wonder how easy it would be to get that
Yes.
information, and if it would be made available free now, instead of Google being able to charge for all their data.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, and think of this. You know, we were just talking about death of the internet as we knew it. does this punishment that you have to share your information, does that actually change anything?
I don't think it will.
I want to explore this topic in depth next time. I want to see if we can get somebody on the call too that might have a legal perspective on this, because that could be interesting. But does this change? Is it wiped away because of AI? Because AI already knows everything? What do you think, Mike?
AI knows everything. I don't know that I'm 100% there yet to say that AI knows everything, though. Has AI captured all this information and is holding it and using it? Yes, absolutely. But is AI going to then regurgitate it and present it in accordance with the truth? Because we know that one of the problems with AI is that sometimes AI hallucinates or puts a sixth finger on somebody's hand, or, messes things up a little bit. And so there's still just a lot of work to be done before AI can be reliable.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that worries me about the whole browser thing too, is that with AI becoming now my search engine, am I seeing the search results? Like, I can see myself using it, clicking on a result to go there, thinking that that's my answer, getting there and then finding out, oh no, this has absolutely nothing to do with what I was looking for, kind of thing. So I don't know. I'm just, like I said, to me, the word simulation, it's a simulation of human intelligence and should be treated as such.
It's like a toddler that watched a grown-up TV show and is now saying things that toddlers shouldn't be saying.
Yeah, mimicking things and doing things because it thinks that that's what the appropriate behavior is.
That's actually a very good
reality,
analogy.
in reality, it just doesn't know. It has no way of really knowing why it's doing something.
Jackson, I'll give you the last thought on this. Does this ruling saying that Google has to share its data, does that impact Google at all? Or are they just going to morph it into an AI search instead of Google search?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know without knowing the exact legal implications of what the ruling means. If that means that Google's data, like what we were talking about, if their search data or their kind of indexing data becomes easy to get to, let's call it that,
Yep.
that could be interesting, and we might see a lot of new search engines pop up, kind of like we've seen with browsers, right? Because Chromium is available to anyone to use, right? Well, we have a lot of these Chromium-based web browsers, and they're becoming more popular because people are moving away from Google products. So if that is the case, it could be very interesting to see if we kind of have lots of different flavors of search engines, right? And maybe we can kind of keep some of that original internet alive, right? If that is the case. I hope it is. Because if not, then I think you're right. Then Google will get around it with AI, and now you have AI just serving you what it thinks you need.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm definitely going to try and find somebody that can give us insight into the complex answer that's been given to us. We don't know what the implications of this judgment will be. We just know that it's going to be profound. But Google just got a lot more rich. Enriched? I don't know. Put your right verb on that. But until then, I'm John.
I'm Mike.
I'm Jackson.
I'm silent.
And we'll see you next time.